Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at ALGO. So it's I suppose, secret. ALGO is one of my biggest altcoin positions, and it's because it's slow and steady, but should win the race, and that's the idea. And we can see that when it becomes way more clear when you look on the weekly here. It's a very nice looking chart, to be honest with you. And if we base things on nice looking charts, I mean, this one is one of the ones that should win. It's choppy as well though, so let's face it. And if we go to the ALGO to BTC pair, it's actually very easy to understand what's going on, and actually pretty optimistic for the overall, I suppose, Moonboy targets, if there were to ever be any. And I'm not going to rule them out, but I'm also not going to be expecting them, if that makes sense. So let's start with what we see on the Tether, the Bitcoin pair. So we've got a flat level of support. We did have a bit of a breakdown, no big deal, but generally a flat level of support. It's not dogmatic. It's not, set in stone. It's not tattooed to my forehead, but it generally has a range, and this is the range. And the top also generally has a range as well. Sort of front run over here, overshot over here. Revisited over here, and again, if we just extend this line, I don't know why it's not extended all the way to the end here. It corresponds to some areas over here. Again, this is a weekly, okay, so a weekly, nice and neat on the weekly. Obviously, if we saw this on a daily, there'll be many more occasions of supports and resistances. And what we're looking at right now is we're right in the middle of it. But also, what we do have is a conversion baseline cross. It's not above the cloud, it was within the cloud. So you could argue it was a combination of either, but it's still a decent place to be. What we're looking for is for this cheeky spend to cross outside of this, and we would likely get another big push up. And I'm talking like a big push, probably towards the top of the Bollinger Band at least, if not revisiting the entire area all the way over here. It doesn't mean it'll happen immediately. It's a weekly signal, but the way it looks right now, it does look pretty promising, I have to say. Fresh cross as of this week on the MACD, and nothing particularly to worry about on the Bitcoin pair. So very bullish on the way that looks. Now let's just revisit the ALGO pair for Tether. Again, we can admire the weekly, which is great. Let's just admire that for what it's worth. We need to reclaim this. We don't need to, but it would be pretty good for us to reclaim this, the 20 weekly, so the center of this Bollinger Band on the weekly, for the bulls to get back in charge, pushing us back up towards $2, so in the $1.90 area to start with, which you can see has been a pretty major area of resistance for us. And breaking above there should then go on to another one of these nice big moves up, right? So the consolidation looks like already, just even to the untrained eye, you can see that you can slice right through it. As of this week, it would appear that we're trying to break that consolidation and go into maybe a period of accumulation, or maybe it just goes straight into a tear up. So let's go to the 12 hourly, because there's been a lot of signals that we've seen take place on a 12 hourly, especially now where things look like they might be turning around. It's not the be all and end all. Like I say, there's no tattoos on my forehead about which way the market's definitely going to go, because Bitcoin is the one that's dictating the overall trend, and Bitcoin is, well, I don't know, it looks like it wants to bounce in the short term and maybe reach towards that 49,500 area maybe. But most of the other aspects of the chart does look top heavy. So we'll see if we get the bounce up to that level. If we break that level, then yeah, maybe we can continue. But for the moment, I'd say it's 60% in favour of the bulls in the very short term. But overall, it's still in a downtrend. And as of this moment in time, we're below all major moving averages, which is not a good place to be. This is just this is a 12 hourly, but it's the same thing, same read for the daily, and so on. So what we're looking at here, though, is kind of the opposite. And again, this is why we're looking at these altcoins more at the moment. And I suppose judging them on face value, I've just done a video on ICP. I did one a couple of days ago about how these signals were brewing for ICP. You've got the same kind of signals brewing for Algorand as well. So if you look to the 12 hourly, it's actually more bullish. We've got ourselves a cross, a golden cross, obviously, on a 12 hourly, which is not a signal in itself, but it would mean that the position of all these moving averages would be in the correct place. And if they can start to diverged, it means the strength of the trend will remain further to the up, right? And we can use all of these as supports. So, I mean, they're already being supported. You can see the 12 hourly centre of this Bollinger Band has acted as a support. Now they're above the cloud. We've got a green portion over here. We've got the cross down here. So all we're looking for is for this cheeky span to make its way outside of the cloud. Now, because the cloud is so high over here, I'm not really looking for that to happen over the next few days. But towards the end of this week and into next week, that signal should have been generated, unless, of course, we dump below below $1.65, where the cloud obviously is where the cloud is, we won't get that signal then. But if we remain above $1.65, and obviously we would like to see it at the price a little higher than that anyway, then we will get the signal. Just like the ICP signal, it should allow for a big push up. And the push would likely take us to the main area of resistance, which is $1.98, right? So it's not. You might think, well, that's not much of a move. That Rome wasn't built in a day. We're looking to strengthen an uptrend. It's only a 13% move, I grant you that. But it then leads us over to what we could look at on the daily. And at the moment, the daily, there's no real bullish signals on this one until we reclaim, first of all, this area here, and then again, $2, we'll call it $2.20. And the same thing would apply, really. Apart from, interestingly, the cloud goes up over here before it goes down. The cloud over here is a lot lower. Now, it's going to be hard because we would have to make a big breakout for us to get the same kind of signal that we're looking for on the 12-hourly. But if it were to, we'd have to reclaim areas of $2.16, and we would have to reclaim that. There's no way we would get another one of those signals unless we closed candle bodies. We'll call it $2.20 to be safe. We wouldn't get one of those. Now, this is not a major concern, but it is a slight concern. We're quite extended over here on the money flow index on the daily. The histogram's ticking down, so it would suggest maybe we're slowing down momentum. But the RSI doesn't suggest that either. The RSI is technically sideways and up, so very much in line with the price action. So I'm looking for that 12-hourly signal over the next few days to kick in, drive us up to the $1.98 area and see if we can break that. And if we can break that, great. And again, we will cast our eyes over to the Bitcoin pair and we will see how relevant this channel remains. If we do get up to the top, which is something I'd be really, really loving if we were to do this, and again, this would be a very large move versus Bitcoin. We are asking for just short of a 50% move, where I have a very large sell order. It's not obviously on the flat 550, 5,500. Obviously, I would not do that. I would want to front run that. But yeah, it's just around, just a little lower than that. I have a large sell order based upon such a long-standing channel. Now, I'll be an idiot to sell everything. I do have a lot of my Algorand in Coinbase, really, just ticking away. It gets staking rewards on there. I know it's only 4%, and I could get it more better in other places, but 4% is fine for me. And so I probably won't be selling that. But my trading account, my Binance account, yeah, this is where it gets sold to Bitcoin largely here, and let that's a reasonable amount ride. But I do have quite a large sell order here. Obviously, looking at this, you can understand why. But believe me, it won't be all out. It certainly won't be all out. Right, I'm going to leave it with you there, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Good luck with this. I'm not your financial advisor, so it's completely up to you how you deal with these sort of trades. And if you want to join the Telegram, all the links in the description below, as well as pretty much every link for anything you could ever imagine. Anyway, have a nice day, guys. Take it easy.